Hi, Jim Gordon here with more small cap interviews on location. We're at the Fairmont Pacific Rim Hotel in downtown Vancouver, right across from the Vancouver Convention Centre, where it is the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference taking place, as I mentioned, just across the street. Joining me now in our roundtable discussion is Michael Iverson, CEO and Director, and Yan Ducharme. Got it right?
Yes.
Thanks, sir. President of Prospect Ridge Resources. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me here.
Thank you, Jim.
You're quite welcome, guys. I appreciate you crossing the street to talk to us. Michael, let's start with you and a little background on Prospect Ridge.
Well, my background in mining is probably about 30 years. I came and took a couple of public companies over that were being mismanaged. I was just a shareholder of the companies. Took them over with the help of a bunch of shareholders, and eventually they became Fortuna Silver Mines, which is the 10th largest silver company in the world today, and Nile Gold Mining Corp, which was taken over by, we sold to Cisco Mining about 6 years ago. So that took me about 24 years to get that done, and I took both companies on at the same time, and I sort of retired for a few years after that. So I was in retirement mode for about 5 years, and I wasn't too happy about playing. Well, no, I didn't mind the golf.
Just not all the time, though.
Fishing, but it was just too much, and I thought my brain is getting soft. So I started taking a look at some projects that were coming across the plate. Mind you, they never stopped coming, so I always was looking at them. And this project from Terrace came across, and it was beautiful rock, and it seemed to be a lot of it from a lot of different areas. And I knew of a public company looking for a project. And so I I went up to the project and took a look at it, and I liked it, and I thought, okay. So I took it to the company, and I says, okay, I got this project in Terrace, I got it under wraps, and I think I'd like to take it on, and if you guys are willing, I says, I'd like to be CEO. And they said, we'd love to have you as CEO. So we closed the deal on the property August 2021. At that time, Prospect Ridge was just a brand new shell just come out, had a small little property, qualifying property out of Quebec. Of course, we dropped that, and we've been moving and started moving forward with the Prospect Ridge property or the Terrace property. So it's mainly it's like I say, it surprised me and excited me because it just seemed that there was didn't matter what rock you turned over, it was mineralized, some kind of mineralization. There wasn't always gold or silver or that, but during our during some exploration, early exploration and our due diligence, we came up with some gold, silver, copper, zinc, and it seemed that they all seemed to sort of combine together in the same rock. So, and then I started talking to Yan, and it took me about 6-7 months to convince Yan. He says, "Yan, I need you out here."
Yeah.
Without Yan and Nile Gold, Yan was responsible for basically finding our deposit there of 2.1 million ounces that Cisco took over. So, and we'd known each other for 15 years, and we worked very well together. So it was a perfect match for me to move forward with someone that I knew and trusted and worked very well with.
Michael has led me beautifully to the next part of this. You've got 25 years experience. A little background as Michael did about yourself, and then we'll talk about this flagship project.
Well, I have been a geologist for 25 years, and I started as a junior geologist in Africa on the Jean Gobelet project, which became the Kinero mine. So I had the opportunity at an early start to already see what an advanced project looked like. So I came back to Quebec, and we've been with Cambior, which became IAMGOLD for several years. I had the opportunity to do exploration around the Abitibi Greenstone Belt. I worked in an underground mine, the Sleeping Giant mine. I worked around an open pit in the Rosebell gold mine in Suriname. And after that, I joined Nile Gold for 9 years until we were bought by Cisco. And in there, my advanced project experience served me well, so we were able to build the resources. And after that, I went to a little bit on Canadian Malartic until the project were sold exploration project were sold 100% to Agnico Eagle. I made a quick stop at Soquem and at West Dome Gold Mines, at the Kena Mine. And like Mike mentioned, he has been talking to me about a few months, oh, can you come, and finally say, oh, okay, well, we'll do it, and I will go and see the mountains. The mountains.
The real mountains, yes.
The mountains, yeah.
And we have that in BC for sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the flagship project, Knauss Creek. I want to get both your thoughts on that project in the Golden Triangle. Michael, I will start with you.
Yeah, the Knauss Creek was a gift from God. We were up doing some exploration on the Holy Grail. The snow was we were up in the Alpine, and the snow was pretty deep. And I went out there, and the first step I took, I went up to my waist. And so I'm an older guy. The rest of the younger guys, they took off down the hill.
Right.
I stayed up, and I chatted with the helicopter operator. He says, well, who are you? And I said, I'm Mike Iverson. He said, anything to do with Fortuna Silver Mines? I said, I was one of the founders. And that sort of ended, and a couple days later, we get a phone call, and it's from the owners of the Knauss Creek. The helicopter was piloted and mentioned that I was there, and they knew of the history. And a couple days later, the owners of the Knauss Creek gave us a call and wanted to do a deal with us. And so we went and took a look at the property, and it didn't matter what rock we picked up, it just was mineralized.
Right.
We didn't know what kind of mineralization, but it was heavy with mineralization. So of course we did a deal with these guys. But the most important thing was, what I wanted to do was I wanted to earn 100% into these properties. And that property, we went after it. And the more we traveled around the property, the more we realized there was multiple zones. And so what I want to do now is pass over to Yan, and maybe you can give a description of these different zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the nice features about the Knauss Creek property is that it's easily accessible by road. So we can drive there and explore what we call the J-veins. And there are several trenches. A lot of work has been done with those prospectors that sold us the property. And they were very enthusiastic to show us their findings, and we discovered more there. And but also we rented an helicopter and we went in the Alpine area.
Sure.
So we went there to see other showings that these guys have found, the Ogden zones. We went to see the Dorreen Mine.
It was very rich. It was like 10 grams of gold a ton. It was very rich mine. And it ended in, they quit mining there in 1952. So they just left it the way it was. And so having an old mine on a property that is always a good thing.
Yeah.
And then on our first discovery, we had an old mine, we discovered more. So of course, you just think back in history, okay, so let's just pull our noses here. Here's the mine, build right off of this.
Right.
And so we went there. It was really interesting, and we also did some flying over, and we saw that big green stain, the side of the hill, and one of the prospectors told us what it's called Copper Ridge, and in fact it's a lot of copper. It's just a malachite staining that it's on top and goes a few tens of meters downhill, which is
very visible from visible from the air. I mean,
Yeah.
I picked it up, and I was in the seat in the front seat, and I picked it up right away, and I filmed it.
And we went there to sample it, and the results that we have in the news release are showing that there's high gold content, silver, and also copper there. It's a really, really interesting area.
Yeah. So when he's saying it's high grade, so in that news release, it was 68 grams a ton of gold.
Nice.
That is very high.
Yeah.
Everybody in the show would get excited with that on any property.
Yeah. And the hill just in front, we have the Kandy Showing also, where we just grabbed a few samples there, but one of them ran above 4 grams of gold. And we went also to the Ogden zone, where we found more sniff of gold everywhere. So we have good targets to work on. We still have plenty to find on this property, because there are historical showings that we didn't visit yet. So there's a lot of work to be done, and the other property that we have, the Holy Grail, surrounds the Knauss Creek, because Knauss Creek is really small. It's about 3,000 hectares, and the Holy Grail property surrounds it, and so much stuff happening on Knauss Creek though. So we will be able to explore beyond the frontier of that property on the land package that belongs to us.
Yeah, it's probably prospectors have been the only ones up there for us working this land for a long time. And I should mention this is in Terrace, BC, the very bottom of the Golden Triangle.
Right, yeah.
These big deposits that they're getting up in those areas are coming from a certain rock type, and that's the rock type that we are in. So we're in the right rock type, we're in the right country. And we need to know, at the conference here, you know, everybody's talking gold. Everybody's talking gold. So, Golden Triangle, gold. I mean, this is what this company is all about. I mean, the silver, the copper, and the zinc is just an added bonus to what we're looking at.
Let's talk about what's coming up. We're fairly new in the year, but guys, can you give me a breakdown? We'll start with you, Michael. As what does 2023 look like for Prospect Ridge?
Yeah, so we are ready to go. Everything has been put in place. Our camp is ready, our staging area is ready, our crew is ready. We're ready to hit the ground. So Yan has come up with a plan, an exploration plan for the beginning of the season, which will start in May. And but we are ready to go. We have about just under $2 million to start with. That will be a good exploration start for this year. We'll raise a little bit of money later on in the year, but we have enough to get started. Otherwise, we're good to go.
Yeah, and you get the last word.
Yeah, well, we have enough money to conduct a very nice program, and we will. What we're going to do is do further work on all the good stuff that we found in the last 2 field season, and pursue on that, and hopefully generate good drilling targets. And if we manage to get some good financing, well, we will probably test them and see if we can make nice zone out of them.
Talking with Michael Iverson and Yan Ducharme, who are with Prospect Ridge Resources. Guys, you mentioned a number of news items and press releases, everything which I'm sure people can find at prospectridgeresources.com, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for coming across the street. Busy day over there for you guys. I'm glad to see Michael and Yan joining us here for another edition of Small Cap Interviews. I'm Jim Gordon. Thanks for watching.